I grew up, working with my family. And so really it was a community that really supported each other.
Lillian Stokes may have been born and raised on an expansive tobacco farm in North Carolina, miles from any major city. But the community in which she was raised was large and rich with love and support.
I have lots of brothers and sisters. There were 10 of us. I feel, very blessed to have grown up, in that environment, because I think a lot of what has evolved has been because of the initial, upbringing.
This environment of nurturing and care steered Lillian to a career in nursing, a career she envisioned from the time she was a girl, and a career she developed early on as a nursing student.
Started looking at, Indiana University and found out about, their nursing program, their graduate nursing program, and I applied. Of course, my dean had been telling us from day one that her expectations that all of us would continue our education, become leaders in the field.
At IUPUI, surrounded by successful role models in her chosen profession, Lillian embraced the idea not only of working as a clinical nurse, but also influencing other young nursing students by serving as an educator.
We used the expertise of the nurses and individuals, in the clinical facility who are, competent and who also love students. And a lot of times they would say, it's nice having students because they help them to stay current and make sure they do things, the right way.
Throughout her years at IU, Lillian learned that many of the procedures for teaching future nurses and healthcare professionals were growing quickly out of date. Unable to find a textbook that focused on new policies in the field, she and her fellow instructors developed their own textbook, which was published in 1973. In it, she and her colleagues ruffled the feathers of the medical establishment by suggesting that patients should be viewed as clients, as active participants in a healthcare team that included physicians, therapists, and nurses.
Her view of education, her writings, when she wrote a med-surg book that was cutting edge, it went way beyond what you do in terms of, I would say, traditional role of nurse. But it was very geared, and it was ahead of its time for interprofessional teams working together.
As well as a leader in modern nursing practices, Lillian led the IU School of Nursing in developing diversity initiatives to help expand and diversify enrollment on the IU campus.
She laid the groundwork for being an inclusive climate that's welcoming for all people, where students could learn. She brought the passion for student learning and success. She's credited with increasing minority enrollment, expanding diversity, creating programs so students would be successful.
Throughout more than 40 years at IU, Lillian spearheaded several fundraising initiatives among many different healthcare disciplines to help provide scholarships to students in the IU School of Nursing.
She gets physicians and occupational therapists and dentists and all healthcare providers to get involved in fact, raising funds for scholarships in nursing.
I recently went to an event that Dr. Stokes was there. I knew she mentored, but I had no idea the extent she mentored. And clearly the success of her mentorship was in the face of the mentees. She's been incredibly giving with her time and giving with her thoughts about how to be successful and how to lead in nursing.